Hey, let's go over the solution for 16th of Feb 2026. So this one was interesting because everyone pretty much got the same character count in the top 10. Everyone's got 144. The order of things are slightly different maybe, and maybe very slight differences in method, but it's essentially all doing the same thing. You've got two elements, HTML and the body element, and they're making box shadows to create these shapes. So I want to go over how this is done. Here's the finished code, obviously. I think it's nice to start off in the beginning, like how I would normally start out. So I never really type. I've explained this in a few different videos now, but I don't really type out like HTML. I'm just going to type as if I was just doing this like code gold. So I immediately use that AND selector to target the HTML, and then usually put on some kind of outline so I can see what's going on. Right now I want to create the right shape using margin, because with HTML element you can, and with body you can dictate its width, height, and position using only margin. So margin's obviously very handy for that. So yeah, with outline you can kind of see where our shape is now. We've got this square in the middle, and then from there what we can do is create 3 squares using box shadow, one to the left, one to the right, and one straight below. So that's how I'm going to start off. So we do box shadow, 110 pixels on the X and 0 on the Y, and then we make it this color, and then we do one directly below, so same there. Or actually, that one would be a different color. So let's make that one. Let's do that, and then 0 for the bottom yellow block. Okay, perfect. We've got kind of the start of our shape there already. And then the next thing that we want to do is create these inner squares. So what's actually useful for that is if we just apply all these styles, apply the styles to everything. So same background, and we just want to change the margin. So let's do the margin of 30. Okay. Then so here's the body element over here, and then it's doing the same shadows, exact same box shadows. You just can't see them right now because it's the same color as is on the HTML element. So I'm just going to copy this over so you can see what it is that we need here, or what I mean. So if we replace these colors on the body, if we reverse them, then we get our image. That's the end result that we're looking for. Okay, so and then refactoring, obviously this whole box shadow thing is repeated. This whole thing is repeated except for the colors, right? So an interesting thing about box shadow is that it'll make the shadow of the shadow color, the color that's the current color of the text. So if I were to take out, say that's that color over there that I've defined in that specific box shadow, it'll default to black. Say I make the color red, then the box shadow will default to red. So we can use that pretty much whenever we have a repeating color. It's quicker. So we've got this one mentioned twice now. We've got this kind of teal color mentioned twice in HTML. So instead of doing that, we just specify that as the color, and then that gets used by default. All right, and then we will still need a way to control this final color, because obviously we can use color on the HTML and body elements to change the color of the shadow, but we also need to change, like one of the shadows needs to be a different color. So for now, let's just use a variable for that. Go. That means on the body now, we can take out that box shadow rule, because it's the same rule that we want, it's just different colors that we want for the shadows. So first color that, and then second color for the body, we want that. Okay, well on our way to getting to 144 characters now. Nice, another optimization. You can drop the pound symbol, the hash or whatever it is, from that rule. The browser will just auto-complete it. Box shadow, we've got 110 here, so with the unit golf tool, 110 pixels, there's nothing exact, but the closest we can get is 116 Q. So let's give that a bash. Let's try it on all of them. I'm not going to be able to submit because this was yesterday's target. I'll just have to check top solutions, and they all have 116Q. Yeah, that works. Okay, there we go. So that's 145, and then one more opportunity here. We can get rid of this last closing bracket for the variable if we move this box shadow rule over. So basically, here we've got all styles. So this is HTML and body, and then this is body because it's nested inside. And we close that off with the bracket, and then put the rest of the rule as basically just a continuation of what was happening over here. Then we get to 144 characters. That's it. And then just to show you quick how that would look like written out without being minified, totally expanded. This is kind of what you're looking at. And yeah, that's it.